Ready? Okay, to factor a trinomial where a is greater than 1, there's two ways to do it. One is called splitting the middle term. I will do that first. You take your a and your c and you multiply those together. You take your b and write it right here. You say what multiplies to give you -6 but adds to give you -1. What are the numbers? -6 and adds to give you -1. -3 and +2. You split the middle term. Okay? That would give you that. So it's like you're reversing the process of multiplying two binomials together. Are you with me? So this is why it's mathematically sound, which is what most teachers prefer. Okay. Then we factor by grouping. The greatest common factor of this is what? What do these two have in common? They have 1x in common. What's left? 2x minus 3. This only has a 1 in common, which we rarely factor out the greatest common factor of 1, but in this case you have to. And then what's left is 2x minus 3. Guess what? The only time this works is if these match, which they do. Now I have two terms. What's the greatest common factor of those two terms? 2x minus 3. And voila, I have factored. And then if I want to solve, you're setting each factor equal to 0, which is the zero product property. And you solve by adding 3 and dividing by 2. That's where the 3/2 comes from. You subtract 1. That's where the -1 comes from. That is the solving by splitting the middle term. Now let me show you the slip slide method, which is my secretive way that's completely awesome. It's a magic trick. However, if you have to make sure there's no greatest common factor or it will not work. So see how this has no GCF? So I'm going to delete all this. I don't want to do that. Whatever. Let me cut that. Delete. Paste it. It's not going to work. That stinks. Well, there it is right there. 2x squared minus x minus 3. What are the factors? You still do what is a times c, which is -6, -1. You say what multiply. You're doing the same thing. What multiplies to give you -6 that adds to give you -1, and you write -2 or -3 and +2. And then you do this, and you're like, what the heck are you doing? That doesn't add up to equal this. That doesn't work. Yes, it does, because here's the magic trick. You take your a and you put it under here, and then you reduce. This is x plus 1. That is not going to reduce, so we slide it up there, 2x minus 3, and voila, I factored using the slip slide method.